the more you're able to limit Samus into the spots where she kind of becomes more limited. Because I do still think she's very good, like in center stage on the ground. It's just that the more you can play the game with her in the air or in the corner, the more you start to feel like, oh, that's why she's a mid tier.
Hmm. Yeah, we've talked about this before on the stream, right? Where all the low tiers, like they have tools, they're good at some stuff, and if you let them play their game, it can just feel really like you're playing a top tier,
Yep.
and really in melee, actually throughout the cast, right? If you want to make a low tier feel like a low tier, you have to force them off their game.
Yep.
So that's
Yeah, because I've
really
I've heard
important.
people give the sentiment that like, oh, they're a low tier, so I should be able to do whatever I want. But actually,
Mhm,
the fact that they're a low tier means that you have to play in a certain way because they're like you have to play to their weakness or something.
mhm, mhm.
That being said, you can't overthink that too much too, because at the same time, it's still a PvP game, and you got to figure out what your opponent's doing, right, and kind of play around that. So, I think Hooper has seen that the broadcast ended and is trying to fix it right now. So we're having a slight delay before game two. Uh, that is my guess as to what's happening here.
All right, looks like they're rebroadcasting to get everything back to, the normal approach of how we run these setups. So we should be able to jump back in here and
Through space and back here.
what?
That's the normal approach. That's how we normally do it. Gamma rays through
Oh,
space.
yeah, you've been on this gamma ray bit all day. I keep forgetting.
There's no bit here, Ed.
Right.
We are at the mercy of the gamma rays.
Squid
Ooh, it
about
looks
to
like
make a
we are
2-hour,
back.
40-minute video about the gamma rays.
This is very important.
All right, so we're jumping in here.
Oh
Uh,
my god.
we're gonna go to FOD. See if we can trick up
Oh
Gahtzu.
my god, this
What
is
is this
so much
combo?
damage. This combo, are you
Please
kidding me?
stop. Please stop. Okay, Gahtzu able to double jump out of it after all of that, but not before taking
Oh,
130 damage from just dares.
yeah, it actually started with like 3 forward airs and then turned into down airs and turned into like 4 down airs and it like just kept going. Didn't quite find the closeout, and then Falcon answers back with just up air, up air, up air, up air, and he's like, "Ha, I'm back."
Okay,
Hooper
super able
closes
to
it out
close it
first
out.
though.
Yeah. Ooh, Gahtzu had a stomp. I think he
Oh,
he held back and he just finds it anyway, so no problem.
it was inevitable. It was like the Final Destination movies where you like cheat
Mhm.
death and you're actually just guaranteed to still die.
That's
Oh,
rough.
now it's just up tilt. What are these combos?
Swooper has perfected the skill of just pressing the same button over and over at the right timing. This is
he's like,
disgusting.
he's like, check it. I can do it with 4 different moves. Like,
Okay, and we're seeing something that we saw here in winter semis with the missile right space just above the ledge to
Mhm.
sort of create space for him to recover. Looks like Falcon also has a little bit of trouble dealing with that, or at least
Yep.
Gahtzu doesn't have an answer yet.
Yep. And yeah, I think Samus's edge guarding is just really good in general. The missiles are and the perfect bait there, spacing outside the up B. But Swooper is still the one to answer back and find the kill.
Okay, I like the way that Gahtzu played that. That was actually so sick, where he goes
Yeah.
really far out and then just double jumps back to ledge, just like, oh, you're checkmated.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I like that joke that you jump off stage and you just yell at them and then you come back and you just hope that you scare them. You know.
Yeah, yeah, that's absolutely what Gahtzu just did. He was just like, look, look where I'm at. What are you gonna do? Haha.
Gahtzu, he like accidentally ran past him. And he's like, let me get back to center stage. Oh, find a CC grab against the forward air. That's really good, actually. Pretty interesting stuff. Finding more up tilts and more down airs. He got him in the infinite.
Okay, Gahtzu seems to be figuring out how DI works in this matchup a little bit better. But it doesn't matter. Super still just takes the stock first. Gahtzu getting a little bit caught
He's
up
going to
in the
react
game.
to the stomp this time. Yup, he just rolls on. Very nice. And yeah, I will say that move, it's so hard to DI. It sends you straight down. So, because it's a meteor, right? So,
Mhm,
if you try to DI it, like we saw him take him from the top to the side platform before.
mhm.
So, you can actually like down air, and then down air him to the side platform, and then down air again. And like, kind of, you can choose where you get down aired, but you can't really choose not to get down there.
Mhm. All right, Gahtzu able to use that corner pressure that he'd set up to find a knee and bring it back to basically even. But, he definitely hasn't established that dominance that we saw in the first game. So,
Hmm.
Super definitely keeping it close.
Yep, I will say these side platforms have been more helpful for Samus than Falcon as the set has gone on. Falcon can generally play pretty well around him with these stomps, but Swooper seems really good at angling himself like diagonally and then up tilting, and up tilt ends up being more oppressive than the stomp move, but pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, and it's really tough, right? Because the stomp does have a bit of startup, so you do have a little bit of time to play with.
Yeah.
But if you're not fast enough, you just eat the stomp yourself. So
Yep.
he's playing with a really tight timing window to just place himself.
Oh.
But he gets caught trying to get up attack on the side platform with a knee. Gahtzu spooks him again, but this time Super doesn't believe him.
Oh. Yeah, and I think Gahtzu kind of is pretty well rehearsed on the edge guard flowchart because you kind of like pretend to edge guard her, but you want to stay relatively low commitment. And Falcon can go pretty far out there safely, and then you get to come back and like just kind of make it a little bit hard for her to get to the ledge. But really, what you're focused on is making it hard for her to get back on stage, and that's what like kind of happened at the end there, where I mean, Swooper messed up, he air dodged onto the stage, but Gahtzu was ready to like make it hard to come on stage, and boom, finds a knee to close out the game. So.
All right, so Gahtzu, he's up 2-0.
Mhm.
Super made it look pretty tough for him there. He was pretty oppressive there early in that Fountain of Dreams game, but Gahtzu was able to weather the storm and bring it back. So, are we going to go back to Fountain? Does Samus have another stage that she'd prefer? I can't really imagine that she
Yeah, I
does.
think she can try like the big stages if you're like super down to be a neutral god, but given how that game went, I would say that Super, yeah, he goes back here. I think he was playing really well with the kind of layout of the stage overall. So
Yeah, I definitely think he was getting more advantage out of the stage, and Gahtzu just kind of outplayed him there at the end. But we'll see if he can do something
oh
again. Oh, Gahtzu took note of the fact that Super didn't believe his jump out
yeah,
last time, and this time he just hits him with a back air. Like, no, you will believe me.
yep. And Falcon's like kind of deceptively floaty, right? With his like non-fast fall timings and stuff, he can go like really far out there with a back air and still make it back. A little chic-esque in that way, so kind of making use of that. And this time, the platform layout helping out Gahtzu, the shield poke knee on the side platform.
Yeah, and I think one of the things we talked about earlier today about how to play against Samus is to sort of get up in her space, but just outside of where she can threaten you. And Gahtzu is starting to do a really, really good job of that. We saw a little sequence there in center stage last stock where he did some like jump forward, waveland back right in Samus's space. And you can just see how uncomfortable Swooper is in those positions. He just doesn't have any good options. Great CC down smash here.
Oh, the Falcon punch recovery kind of works. And the up tilt is going to close out that stock. Swooper only taking 55%. Could be worse. Could be better. Could be worse.
Yeah, Swooper, he feels pretty trapped in the corner here.
Yeah.
But he's sort of weathering the storm as best he can. Gahtzu making it pretty tough, and Swooper keeps finding these pretty incredible reversals that are working out well for him. So, he's making the most of a bad spot.
Yep, and he's still very good at patrolling the skies. Like when Gahtzu goes to the top platform, he's met with a forward air, like a spaced forward air on shield, which is pretty hard to shield drop punish because it hits 5 times, right? So, Swooper seems very well. He definitely has a plan here. Kind of like not like because the thing about playing these characters is like you will find yourself in bad spots, but you will have a lot of practice playing in those bad spots. So like Samus in the corner is not omega doomed, even though it kind of feels that way sometimes, right? But Swooper's making it look playable for sure.
Yeah, Gahtzu went for something there, and ends up finding himself off stage. Swooper with a very clean closeout to punish Gahtzu for his over-aggression.
Oh. Oh, and he gets the up air on the way in, too, getting 34% already off a charge shot, off a recovery, right? It's like kind of coming back on stage, dealing a bunch of damage to your opponent. Another call out, just calls out the jump instantly.
Yeah, these fares are looking really strong from Swooper, but also I want to call out the nairs. He's trying to get above. When he gets above Falcon, he's dropping down with the nairs, and that seems to be quite a challenge for Gahtzu. He hasn't found really a good answer there.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like if you have Samus super high up, then like the up air obviously beats the nair. But if she just like short hop nairs or full hop nairs, like at a timing where you don't have time to jump and start an up air and be below her already, then it can be pretty tricky to deal with as a hitbox. So
yeah, and this is where a lot of it comes down to intentionality, right? If it's Swooper that's going up in the air to play that mix-up, he's finding himself in good spots. But when Gahtzu forces him up there and gets to play the juggle game, there you see he just spaces around the landing and gets the F smash. So
I love the classic Gahtzu run through him forward smash backwards. It's a tried and true like 2006 tech that Gahtzu's still rocking to this day.
Hey, it works, man. It's really tricky and hard to deal with, honestly.
Yeah, it's strong. The Falcon punch almost hit, very close.
Yeah, and it did eat a projectile on the way in as well. He tries to DI back out to grab the ledge and just gets caught by the mostly charged shot. Not all the way up there, but enough. The double windmill.
Double up air, yep. Oh, didn't
Ooh,
quite get the
Gahtzu.
sweet spot on the grapple, but was still able to get back and find a reversal of his own. Swooper immediately ties up the percents, basically.
Okay, Gahtzu finds the aerials. Super's back off stage, but gets the sweet spot on the grapple.
Finding these nairs again, like you said, he kind of nairs in from above, jump read, and if he's wrong, he kind of falls on your head with an air, spaces it, and has a bunch of tricky mix-ups off of it.
Oh,
The raw knee is gonna do it. Gahtzu, the master of sneaking in kill moves at high percents, man.